I've played dozens of horror games, but honestly, most of them just aren't scary anymore. So I set myself a challenge, build my own horror game from scratch in just 2 weeks. Was it a nightmare, you ask? Absolutely. Did it work? Well, you're about to find out watching this video. But before actually smashing down my keyboard hoping my game would work somehow, I had to come up with a plan for the main game loop. So, my game loop is, player gets thrown into a huge maze, we call that maze No Snake Maze. Then we hit the player with a big fucking snake because they don't expect it, they are in a no snake maze, right? And before you say anything, I have a degree in psychology, some might say I'm an expert in that area, so I exactly know what I'm doing. If the player wants to win the game, he has to do some objectives and escape. So I start by opening Unity, creating a project and coding maze generation.
Well, I've just realized that I have no flippin' idea how to code maze generation.
So I asked for a person, which I always go to when I'm in some serious trouble. He must have been busy, I guess. So, during my research, I found out that I need to use an algorithm called depth first search, also known as the backtracking algorithm, which is, you know, pretty ironic and funny, because last night I backtracked your mom. So, this is how this really simple algorithm works. We generate square of fields, then we select a field, find its neighbors, choose one.
Shut your mouth, mate!
And after just an hour, we got that working properly. Now, I just need some textures for that maze, because just like the President Barack Obama himself once said,
good maze needs some nice textures.
So, this is how it looks with textures. I also decided to pick random walls and delete them to make the maze more open. And listen, I know I'm not supposed to give my personal opinion here on this channel, but I just think that this maze is pretty amazing. Now, as we have maze generation done, some eagle eyes might realize that we don't have a player, and it's quite fucking necessary to have a player in your game. Luckily for me, Unity has already provided ready to use first person controller asset, so it's really just as simple as importing that asset, adjusting some values, turning off jumping, and in 5 minutes, we got first person controller ready. Anyways, if you click the video, you read a word horror in a title, and horrors are scary. My game is not scary. In fact, it's total opposite of scary, so it's more like a Irax. It's Irax. So to make it more unsettling, I added skybox, fog and fog particles, which are made using Unity's particle system. And I'm not gonna lie, this gives much better vibes than this. And don't get me wrong, it's still ass, but I'm quite happy with the result for now. So I'll leave the graphics for later, just like the rest of the fucking game. Because now it's time for creme de la creme. At first I spawned a bunch of cubes, and just to know where's his head, I gave this ugly guy a little face. And I might get cancelled for saying such a controversial opinion, but this guy is pretty sick. In addition, I write a script to make his body parts follow the head, and as you can see, it kind of starts looking like a proper snake. I just need to make some additions, like make some body parts rotate accordingly. And I genuinely think I have created the most intimidating snake ever, because just look at this. So after giving him simple AI and putting in a maze, this game looks so much worse. It's so bad, it's so goddamn bad. Sadly, this job application dude was just a placeholder and needs to go bye-bye. F in the chat for job application snake, guys, he will be missed. To swap him, I have to make 3D snake model in Blender myself, and to my luck and board publishes, our snake model. So I imported it to Blender and cut his head. Why? Because I want this snake to have a humanoid head. I quickly looked up 3D head models, and to my luck, Zyphios publishes, our. And so I present to you the snake. And listen, I know that what you see is not the best, but I am not good at 3D modeling, as you can see, and I am not good at designing, so don't judge me. I clearly didn't have a clue what I was doing here, and I was just as confused as you are now, so please forgive me. But this guy right now is pretty stiff, so to make him move and have animations, I have to add big healthy bones to his body, and then I can implement him into the game. It should work like a charm, right? Well, Oh no, somehow his stupid ass was just upside down and his head was twisted. He also managed to disappear every now and then, just like my fate to live, you know what I mean, gamers? And I spent literally 5 hours trying to solve the problem, and I somehow did. And from that moment I started to have really big faith in this project, because this was the actual first time where I got scared. How much? The snake looks good, but the code for Snake AI looks like a total trash right now. Mainly because AI stands for artificial intelligence, but my boy Snake is just artificial, so it's not really AI. It's just A. So I had to make brand new Snake AI, which works in a way that Snake switches between few different states like Patrol, Chase and Alert. And when they are put together, I like to call those the United States. First state, Patrol, works in such a way that Snake randomly spawns points in the maze and moves between them. But if he notices the player along the way, he switches to Chase state, which is pretty self-explanatory. But we also have the last state, Alert, which is triggered when player does some objective on the map and Snake is given location of that objective. Now we got Snake and maze generation done, but let's be honest, the maze is pretty boring. Cause take a look around, what you see? An idiot, but you also see props which decorate your room. Right now, the maze is pretty empty, just like my head, which is pretty goddamn empty. So I modeled and textured some props like barrel, this sign don't be a bitch here, or my favorite, there are no snakes. I've also seen really cool bone models. I mean, they are made by Tanda, so make sure to check them out for cool models for your game. I also changed the colors of the game from blue to orange, because I think it just suits the game better, and this is how it looks in game. As you can see, there are some props occasionally, and it still looks bad though, and pretty empty, but hey, I'm not worried because everything can be fixed later with a little bit of post-processing. Like, seriously, if your marriage is falling apart, trust me bro, just use post-processing. Do you know what I really like about games? When you can actually win them. If you cannot win a game, why even bother playing it? Currently, my game has no winning system, so you can just walk around like an idiot, like me.
So I came up with this absolutely brilliant idea. In the maze, I'm gonna spawn randomly 5 levers in one hatch. When the player pulls 5 levers, the hatch opens and creates a way out. If player escapes, he wins. Else, he needs to face the consequences.
So I made lever model in 2 versions, red before being pulled and green after being pulled. I also made this really sick looking hatch and put it all in Unity. At this point I had a really great time because I actually used knowledge from college, and to make system of interactables for the game I used something called inheritance. And if you don't know what is inheritance, let me introduce you my friend Charles Darwin, which describes it like that.
If your mama fat and retarded, so is you.
Thank you, Charles. Wow, what a nice guy. So after nice advice from my boy Charles, it was really easy to make that system in the game. I quickly wrote some code, made animations, and also for the hatch I made those Black Ops particles using Unity's particle system. Now we have pretty much every mechanic of the game completed. Now it's time to get back to something I mentioned earlier. I'll leave the graphics for later. Now it's later. I kinda want to go with this game for puppet combo style, which you can see right now on your screen. It's retro VHS horror, which gives vibes of all PlayStation 1 games like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. And it just so happens that I found exactly what I need. URP, PSX, fork, shader, and oh boy, I know I'm overusing this, but... And after playing for a while with this shader, I got something like that. In the meantime, I also made stamina bar, but I didn't record it, I don't really know why, I was probably drunk. To make that camera glitch effect, which are those white stripes on the screen you can see, I just took random glitch effect video I found on the internet, placed huge ass plane in front of player's eyes, and played the video on that plane. And listen, I don't think that's the best solution, but it just works, I guess. Yeah, it works, but do you know what doesn't work? Sound. You work around the maze and it's complete silence. And let me tell you this, sound design in horror games is crucial. Some say that really good horror games should be scary even when your eyes are closed. So, how to make sound design to horror games in 6 steps. Step 1. Find a sound you want to use. Step 2. Put a sound to your audio design program like Audacity. Step 3. Amplify the sound by 20 decibels. Step 4. Apply low pass filter. Step 5. Hear the sound after changes. Step 6. Proceed to do step 1 to 5 for every sound. And I'm obviously not gonna show you every single sound that is in the game because that will be boring and fucking stupid. But here's one of the sounds which I use while Snake chases you. But using this sound might be kind of illegal and I might get into some serious legal troubles. That's why, being responsible citizen, which I am, I'm obviously not gonna use it and I'll make my own version. Finally, every bad horror game needs jump scares. So I tried to make my own and let me tell you this, it was a nightmare. Hey dude, does your dog bite? No, he just stares. Eventually I fixed it and the jumpscare looks like this. Now the game is pretty much completed. All I have to do is adjust some values of the snake and the player to make it more balanced. And in the end I made really simple main menu and options, which took me much longer than I would love to admit. But it's gonna be over for this video. Right now in the background you're gonna see the game. It's published for free on itch.io. Links to it are in the description. Play the game, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it. And remember, leave a like, subscribe, you know the drill, my G.